Hello and welcome to Witness. I'm Raggy Omar. The 7th of July 2005 was a dark day in London's history. 56 people died when 4 suicide bombers blew themselves up on the capital's transportation system. 2 weeks later, suspected terrorists planted another series of bombs, but they failed to detonate. Police were on terrorist high alert. So when a young man entered the same underground station where 3 of those would-be bombers began their journeys, police weren't taking any chances. Officers say the suspect was acting suspiciously and they opened fire. It was a tragic case of mistaken identity. The victim, Jean-Charles de Menezes, was like so many other young Brazilians trying to make a better life for himself in England. What led to this young man being shot dead on his way to work? Witness commissioned Brazilian filmmaker Simon Duarte to go to Gonzaga, de Menezes' hometown, to find out what drove him to the other side of the world.
Once Jean-Charles Menezes dreamed of coming back to his hometown Gonzaga in Brazil as a famous man. Instead, he was shot and killed by policemen in London. A case of mistaken identity, a victim of the war on terrorism. But his killing in the London subway has made his small farming town of less than 6,000 people known worldwide. And it hasn't stopped others who share with Jean-Charles the same dream of going abroad to seek their fortune. In the aftermath of London terrorist bombings in 2005, policemen thought Jean-Charles was a suicide bomber and shot him 8 times. Menezes was simply a 27-year-old Brazilian electrician on his way to work that morning. Small Gonzaga was shaken by the news of his death, especially Giovanni da Silva, Jean-Charles' only brother. Giovanni lived with his family in São Paulo, Brazilian larger city. But after the killing, he came back to his hometown to live close to his parents, who were devastated by their son's death. The British police offered a reparation of $27,000, but the family refused it. They want justice.
Olha, é uma situação difícil porque o que a gente sente saudade é o seguinte, é uma coisa que não pode, eu queria que ele tivesse junto comigo.
It's a very sad situation because we miss him and we cannot have him back. I wish he was here next to me. Only that.
A parte do Jean tá na família.
We would give anything to have him back. Nothing can replace his life.
Trocava a vida dele por nada. E nós perdemos isso.
People look at us saying, look, Jean's brother, Jean's mother, Jean's father. Have you already got the money? This is something that bothers us. We don't want money. We want to have our family together again. We want to have Jean back, together with us.
Essa aqui é de bolinho de aniversário.
This is a birthday cake. I think it was in London. This one is in Paris.
Do jeito que ele gostava. Até as bandeiras de Londres, ele gostava muito de Londres.
He liked London. He used to bring stickers with flags and put them on his car. We kept the car the way he liked it. Even the flags from London.
Now Giovanni has decided to take the stickers off.
Como a gente tinha uma maior consideração sobre Londres, sobre tudo,
After the tragedy, they delayed justice and didn't acknowledge that they made a mistake. Because of that, we'll take them off, take everything off, and forget London. No. If one day my kids decide to work in London, what can I do? Nothing. But if I had a say on this, they'll never go. Never.
Sandra Rabelo is a teacher at the main school in Gonzaga.
Mas nada alterou porque Jean morreu, eu não vou?
People say, because of Jean's death, am I not going to the US? No, I go anyway. The death of Jean hasn't stopped anyone. They continue to go the same way.
The educators here deal with a paradox. They don't encourage students to go, but they know that sooner or later they will follow in their family members' footsteps.
Ali, ó, aquela ali que tá ali, o pai tá.
The father of that one over there is in the US. The uncle and the brother of this one over here is in the US.
Irmão lá nos Estados Unidos.
Everybody here, I mean everybody, has one goal:
Vivem
to go to the US.
embora para os Estados Unidos.
Brazil has always been a land of immigrants, a place people came to searching for a better life. What is happening in Gonzaga now is an about-face in Brazilian history. The town is at the center of a wave of emigration to the United States and Europe. More than half of the youngsters of this town are living abroad, many illegally. Cook Terezinha has two sons living abroad. One is in Portugal and the other crossed the US-Mexican border and lives in the United States.
Chorei muito, né? Achei muito ruim.
I cried a lot when they left,
Mas,
but they left in search of what they couldn't get here.
coitado que aqui eles não encontravam, né?
Juninho's parents live illegally in the US. Last time he saw his father, he was only 11. His mother joined his father 4 years ago. Since then, Juninho lives with his grandmother and aunt.
Quando ela foi, eu tinha 15 anos. Meu irmão tinha 7.
I was 15 years old when my mom went to the US. My brother was 7.
Tem meu irmão.
Tem o irmão dele.
E hoje tá aí, né?
Does your mother send money to you?
Manda dinheiro pra
Manda.
você.
Yes, she does every month.
Vir embora?
Não, ela veio embora esse ano.
She will return home this year, I think in November. Thank God.
Eu sente falta, todo mundo
I miss
faz
them.
em casa, a gente
Everybody can count on his parents. I cannot. When you have problems, it's better to talk to your parents than your grandparents or your aunts.
melhor os pais
I really miss them.
do que tio, avó.
The money from abroad is changing Gonzaga.
Antes, as ruas eram assim, até na praça, cercadas.
Previously, the streets were like this, even in the main square. The fences were made of bamboo. Now we have stores, buildings. They are huge.
Eles trazem dinheiro, sim.
They come with money. They build fancy houses and buy expensive cars, but they come back sad and in bad health.
Esse prédio mesmo aqui, ó.
This building belongs to 3 siblings, William, Wellington, and Sylvania. They were my students. They dropped out of school to live abroad. And now I ask you, was that worth? I heard that Wellington has lost his teeth.
The owner of this gas station, Magno, is one of the richest men in Gonzaga. He is an inspiration because he made his money working in the US. Magno flew to the US with a visa in his passport, but now he even admits it might have been a forgery.
Eu não sei se era a agência que conseguia pra gente, entendeu? Eu não sei se ele era verdadeiro.
I don't know if it was a fake visa. All I know is that I lived there. They never bothered me. I got my driver's license and lived there for 7, 8 years. I mean, even with a visa, I became illegal because I overstayed the 6 months period.
Legal tá vivendo lá, né? Que a permanência é de 6 meses.
In the last few years, a large number of Brazilians from Minas Gerais, the region where Gonzaga is, overstayed their visas and have lived illegally in the US. It is almost impossible for others from the same region to get a visa to enter that country. So, many risk their lives to enter any way they can.
Gostou da América?
Dreaming of making his own fortune, Magno's son, Guilherme, decided to go to the US. He was unable to get a visa, and against Magno's will, he took the risk of crossing the US-Mexican border illegally. He went with a group of his friends. Did you cross the river at the border? Were you not afraid?
The river was little. From here to that car over there, it was not difficult.
Só viveu por
He lived there for only 1 year. He didn't like the hard work.
pesado, novo também, né?
Were you afraid he could be caught?
Ah, no máximo que pegar, voltar para trás. O que mais? Não ia fazer mais
The
nada.
worst that could happen would be for him to come back, to be deported.
Deportar ele. Você tem uma quantidade de estimativa na boca aí? Ir para América, para fora.
What makes us go to America, to the US, is the stability that we don't have here in Brazil. Many of my friends came back, invested here, and there is no stability. Some are lucky like me, but the majority goes downhill.
Aqui assim vai só baixando, ó. Entendendo? Também às vezes costuma ser falha da pessoa também, tá certo? Porque ele chega.
It also happens because they want to live without working and just spend the money they have. So they end up going back looking for more money.
Traga o dinheiro, mas você não tem que viver daquela maneira, sem trabalhar e só gastando, entendeu? Aí volta para lá, tem que ir lá buscar mais.
Edmilson, a construction worker, grew up in the same poor neighborhood as Jean Charles Menezes. First, he left Gonzaga to work in larger cities in Brazil, like São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. There, Edmilson earned less than $1 an hour. Dreaming of a better life, he decided to go abroad. He lived in Portugal first and then in the US.
Aqui eu não tinha nada, quando saí daqui eu não tinha nada, não tinha nem...
When I left here, I had nothing, not even thoughts.
Some people are so desperate to escape the poverty, they will pay thousands of dollars for a ticket to what they believe is the promised land. More after the break to find out how.